we have Allison Robertson here with us today from the brand new movie, The Accountant 2. She's going to tell us all about. I'm so excited to have you here.
Yes, thank you so much, Karen. I'm really delighted to be here too.
And I wanted to find out tell me more about you. Tell me what brought you to acting in Hollywood.
Yes, I start off with that. What brought me to acting in Hollywood was just persistent applying to casting calls and finally got the opportunity that was right for me and was brought out to Los Angeles to film last year, and my first big feature film role in The Accountant 2 of the character Justine. And what led to that was the long journey of um, trying as many paths as I could to see where I fit. And it's funny, in the movie, the Christian Wolf says, "These are my people." And I feel like finally, when I got into acting and then went to Los Angeles, I felt like I found my people. To feel like I fit in best into this kind of nook of the world where pretty much all growing up, I grew up in Dallas, Texas area and was very good in math and science, was very good student and did sports and I did choir. So I was in choir for all of schooling through college. And I was introduced to acting a little bit through my sisters, who were both into acting, did theater and dance. And I went to all of their recitals. I went to their plays, but had never really done it myself until junior high, which junior high is an old term for middle school. But the junior high, I had a really good choir teacher who um, had a show choir. So I was in the show choir for a little bit, and then of course we have our musical, and we put on two musicals. One was The Music Man, and I had a bit part in that, and had my first solo in a musical, one line,
What did you
and
play
then
in the music?
I was a townsperson in the Music Man, so one of the ensemble, which was a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
then the next year, we had Guys and Dolls, and I went for Sarah Brown and got part of Sarah Brown the following year. So that's my first taste of acting, and it was interesting. I didn't really pursue my studies through high school and college and studied mainly chemistry, environmental science, and um, then looked at public health. And then during that time, I got a little burned out or wanted to try something creative and wanted to get back to music. And a local art center had affordable classes for a student. So I went to the art center and found this fantastic teacher. And if she's out there somewhere, Virginia Queen is my first acting teacher besides in junior high, and really opened up the world for acting. So I haven't uh, been at it too long, just the past 10 years. And then I started going out for little parts in short films and doing more classes and getting good feedback from teachers. And then met my now boyfriend who makes short films and does photography and writes his own projects. And he encouraged me to learn everything. So I started writing my own projects and running the camera and editing and directing along with acting. And so for a while, I was just doing my own projects, and I still am doing my own projects. I have 3 or 4 in the works right now.
Oh, that's
But yes, but I also wanted to audition for other parts and pursue other people's projects, of course. And so I continued auditioning and submitting to hundreds
Mhm.
of casting calls. So The Accountant 2 was one of probably 500 submissions. So it was not simply, just like I tried it once and it happened type thing.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's yes, but it's so great where um um trying to do this is hard, and I've listened, thankfully I've listened to other actors talk about their stories and say, yes, I did a thousand auditions before I got the part, or I was living in my car until I got my break, or it took me 8 years to get my break. So I thought, okay, I'm not um alone in this. And um
I
yes,
lived in
and
Hollywood.
it's what was that?
I lived in Hollywood a while because my husband at the time and I wanted to go pursue the same thing, and there were a
Oh,
lot of starving actors that were, in the restaurants. It's a lot of work. You have to continually, put yourself out there. It's like writing. You don't write a book overnight. You write it, then you rewrite it, then you rewrite it, then you rewrite it, then you pass it around to everybody else to read. So,
exactly. And yes, and getting used to embracing reaching out to people and asking, and getting used to no and a few yeses.
mm,
And really and it's funny, before I submitted to the Accountant 2, I was going through this process of, am I really going to do this? I'm broke and nothing is happening. And it was just a moment of, I need to decide if I'm going to do this and stick with this. And I said, all right, I'm going to give up after 1,000 auditions. It's like, okay, I've done 40 auditions. I have 960 to go. So it's like, um, and then another day, I was talking to someone about career goals and whatever, and I said, you know what? I want to be Maggie Smith. I want to just, or Betty, Betty White, live your entire life just doing what you love and doing these characters. And um, I'm not giving up until I'm whatever age. And so that's when it clicked of, all right, I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to make this happen no matter what. And so The Accountant 2 was a nice, uh, uh, not a nice token that came along in that decision making process, and kind of an affirmation of, all right, it's going to work at some point. And I'm very blessed and thankful that it was with The Accountant 2. The crew and team has been amazing so far. I'm really enjoyed Gavin, and producers have been so good. And that's
that's
that's the long and short of it.
That's wonderful. And I know they all love you. I mean, I just have heard so many good reviews. Um, and that's what drew you to this project was your role, and also the fact that you are autistic, right?
Yes, the that was a big marketing factor for myself, where I saw the casting call come through, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna
Embrace it.
tell this casting team that I identify as autistic, or I've been classified as autistic, and I just so happen to resemble the previous actor who worked on the first Accountant. And um, then I got my audition in 10 minutes before the deadline. So, which is a very typical autistic trait. So if they were wondering if they were wondering if I was a real deal, I was 30 minutes before the deadline recording and turning it in 10 minutes before the deadline. um, but
Well, yeah.
yeah, so that I when I submitted, um because when I submit for some roles, I kind of just submit my headshot, submit my reel, and don't say anything. But for this part, I really connected with and wrote a whole paragraph to the casting team of, yes, I really identify with this. I have this history. I'm, the right age. I look, right for the part, and um, my submission was more heartfelt and thorough than just kind of sending stuff off and hoping for the best. So it was definitely more intentional, and definitely I identified with that part, and
Mhm.
it worked out. So
Sure
it was
did.
good.
Do you think the team approach researching the spectrum built on the authentic character? Did you feel it was authentic?
Yes, and I think it helped that I got to be a part of the
Yeah.
process in meeting the writer Bill, and and we had a couple days of conversing over how to make Justine real, grounded, and a better representation of what autism is like. So I was very grateful that they let me into that process instead of handing me a script and telling me to do it. And Lynette, the producer, was has uh, one of the producers has a rich background in understanding neurodivergent kids, so she was already um, on top of things. And then having Elaine in the loop, Elaine really set the groundwork um, um, for making the whole experience more authentic. And then I think, of course, Ben portraying Christian, he put in his time and effort to understand his character as much as possible and present it more authentically. So it seemed like just a good effort on everyone's part. And like Gavin asked me to send him research, and he listened to some things I sent him to better understand just or how I was looking at Justine. And so yes, I think prior to me coming on board, people had already been in the process of creating that world, and then me coming in uh, helped, you know, you know, make it come alive. And then the production designer and assistants were so willing to work with my ideas, um, and understand some things from my perspective to bring to the role of Justine. Uh, and in addition, there were some things I had to, back off of saying, okay, it's this whole thing is a team effort of, okay, this person sees the room or the set this way. This person sees the costume this way, and it's so interesting to allow a whole group of people put in, uh, put in their bits to make the character work, and not just me. Even though I was the face, there's just so many people involved and bring it together.
It's really, really good. And I could even feel Elaine's influence because I know her really well. I really feel like there was a much better portrayal of autism, which is so important to do, in the world so people start to understand. I've been living and breathing it for the past 30 years, but, not everybody else has. So it's really important.
Yes, and I loved how she had the kids portrayal on screen
Yeah.
is so subtle, and it's just these picking up little bits of, oh, he's fidgeting with his sword or fidgeting with his ring or has a little squishy ball versus this stereotypical typical type presentation of autism. And I've seen the feedback of how we were more grounded, and it was great. And then how the kids were treated on set was so good, where always given something to do, or having breaks, or having um, the accommodations we needed was really thought out, and um, thought well thought out.
Yes. Yeah, you can feel it. I can. I mean, I really can.
Yeah,
So,
good.
yeah. So there's a lot of non-speaking people in the autism community. I don't think that people really understand that it's like close to 30% of people with autism don't speak.
Wow. That's more than I realized. And
Yeah. Well, 26 and a half is the last one, so that's close to 30. It's a lot of people that, you think about having a child and they are not ever going to speak, or they aren't speaking and you don't know what they're thinking because you don't know what's going on inside. When did you start speaking?
I've always been able to speak from childhood. I was actually quite loquacious as a toddler. I was very social.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then when um, 6 years old, I stopped speaking so much, or uh, didn't speak much at all at school, and but still, spoke at home. So yes, I've always been able to speak. Just had some selective mutism, if you want to call it that, at school and in social situations. Um,
I haven't heard that term, selective mutate mutism.
y- yes,
Huh.
it's 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 usually attributed to a traumatic experience, or simply just not having the energy or understanding of how to communicate verbally, so you just don't speak at all.
I find myself doing that sometimes.
Yes, and that's because Justine responds to Chris so quickly, and Mary Beth so quickly throughout the movie. That's the route, more of the route I took with her ability to speak, versus, of course, it's a spectrum. So
Mhm.
since Justine, uh, yes, answers so rapidly, um, there's a balance between, okay, she's learned to use a keyboard, which is her outlet for um, verbalizing her thoughts. So she loves that that tactile um, thing going through the keyboard. So maybe she's developed that, um, so she can communicate so rapidly, and more along the lines of selective mutism, or just conserving her energy
Mhm.
for other things, versus not being able to speak at all. So that's still in the works of whether Justine can speak or not. I mean, she in the first accountant, she's verbal. She makes she has some verbalization she does. So yes, that's to be continued. um but it was it that was something I had to figure out, of how does she respond within seconds to Chris,
Yeah.
versus needing like 20 minutes or so, that to make a sentence, which that would be interesting to explore. But um so that's yes, that's where I'm at with her speaking or not. What were you
Well,
getting at with the verbal or non-speaking?
well, I've talked to this one person who's just written a book. His father, well,
Mhm.
actually, his wife wrote the book, and his son, who's non-speaking until 18, wrote a bunch of chapters in the end. And what's happening in his world is it's unfolding as he's having to look back in his life and see, well, at 16, I would have had these thoughts now that I can communicate in a different way. And that he's going to have a whole world of uncovering and going back through his life of thinking things through a different way. So I found that to be fascinating. And I think that people that are non-speaking, which is like close to 30%, will need a lot more support in those years because they're learning a whole new world. So that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking about.
Oh, well, that's interesting too. For me, I did not really speak until you know, uh, uh, with my peers until I was about 20 or 19 or 20 when I thought, okay, I need to actually be in the world and socialize. How do I do this?
Mhm.
Um, as far as not speaking at all, thankfully, I've been comfortable around my family, just mainly around my peers. It was always a struggle until college, where I thought, okay, now it's interesting how we have different stages of life where we realize, oh, I want this now, or I need this now. Now I need to, jump, make this effort. Um, versus for so long it was comfortable or okay to just be within my family. So that's interesting to hear how he was you know non-speaking until about 18 and like finally ready to.
Mhm. And now he knows he's going to be an advocate for people that are non-speaking, which is great.
Yes, I'd love to read that or hear more get more information about him.
Yeah, it's called Words You've Never Heard Me Say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we're going to have a podcast, with that, and we're going to probably call it With New Wings You Can Fly Anywhere. And it's more about, if you get a new set of wings or you get a new tool or you get anything new, then it opens your world up.
Yes,
So,
yes, it's amazing. Well, I will stay tuned for that podcast. I'm excited.
okay.
Okay, good.
I know everybody wants to know what it was really like to play alongside of Ben Affleck and these two characters, John Bernthal. Yeah, that's how you pronounce his last name, right? Bernthal.
Yes,
Yeah,
so,
it must
so
have
it
been
goes.
wild.
Yes, they're two very talented and hardworking
Yeah.
men, actors. So I did most of my scenes with the students, with the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and had a reader for my scenes. So I got to work mainly with Gavin and then the assistant director, Mariella. They were um, help going through the scenes with us. And then I met John and Ben later when they were doing their scenes and really enjoyed pulling all that together and got to see them in action on set. Um, we have the scene where Chris is on his motorcycle racing to. I hope I don't do any spoilers. Everyone should have seen the movie by now,
Oh yeah,
but
once you say
save.
it's
Yes,
don't
but
do any spoilers.
he was racing on his motorcycle and I was on the phone with him. And so I really got enjoyed um, playing that urgency with him and seeing his side of it and having my side of it. And then I got to see a fight scene between Daniela and, oh my goodness, I feel so bad, Cynthia, Mary Beth and Anais. So getting to see that where I was on the phone the whole most of the time and seeing them play out their fight scene was so much fun and fascinating to see their side. So it getting to meet them and get to see them play out the rest of their scenes that I had with them was so good that we had captured each other's character development and worked with each other, even if we weren't in the same room together, and that we honored each other's choices and had um uh like I really enjoyed that Ben read for Daniela. He had his one of the last scenes with Chris and Annie's. Um, Ben came back when he was out of his wardrobe and just in jeans and a t-shirt and was standing there giving Daniela her lines. I really enjoyed that. So just John and Ben are true actors where they'll be there the whole time, live the experience, and of course get things done. And it can I love it because I've had to develop this myself doing my own projects to be out of character, do your administrative tasks, do your whatever you have to get done outside of the character, and then when it's time to go, you jump into character in it, and you've done so much work to get there where it's easy. You're I'm Allison one moment, and then next moment I'm Justine. I could tell that with Ben and John. And all right, I'm Ben, socializing and doing my thing off camera, and then once it's time to go, all right, I'm in it. I'm Chris now, and so I love seeing that process.
Yeah, that's great. That's lots of fun.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course. Oh, I was going to say Cynthia is lovely and Daniela is so cool too. So I really enjoyed seeing them because I have some scenes with them as well. So
yeah. That was They were really hitting on each other, weren't they? I mean, they were really beating each other up. That's
yes, that was brutal.
do they really, really like do that? They don't do that. I mean, it's all makeup, right?
It was all makeup. Yes, thankfully. I'm sure they got a few rug burns. An actor usually goes away with a few scrapes and rug burns, but otherwise, thankfully, they had the long sleeves on and they had their um, stunt women come in for them to do the really hard falls. But otherwise, they were really going after it. And so holding nothing back.
Thank goodness for the stunt people, right?
Yes, yes, it was really amazing because yeah, even I love doing my own stunts, but you can tell when you have someone who's studied martial arts or gunplay or whatever for their career and they just know what they're doing and versus being an actor and a little afraid to get hurt.
Yeah,
A stunt person can go all in, so um, it's a nice teamwork.
yeah, that is good. Do you think this role opened a lot of opportunities for people on the spectrum in the movie world? Like
I hope so. I think it's a good step in the right direction to show me and the kids, um, identifying to connect with the characters we play, and also um, showing that um, someone who's neurodiverse doesn't necessarily have to play a character who's neurodiverse, and actually being autistic has been known to mask or mirror so much where I just play different characters naturally. so so hopefully it'll be a nice uh, segue to other roles that don't necessarily have to be autistic roles, but um, it hopefully people who are autistic can show that they can add that really cool difference and something a little more to a role that uh, you might not consider before, and that yeah, and autism is presented in so many different ways, and hopefully more characters will be written for autistic people as well as autistic people being considered for any role.
yeah, yeah, for sure, right across the
Mhm.
board. Um, do you think Hollywood is? Yeah, I guess that's basically the same question. So, what personal takeaways do you have for doing this? Movie, this film.
One of the biggest takeaways was how, even though actually getting to the point of being in a big Hollywood film with seemed so enormous that actually being there, being on set, being with the crew, we're all people, we're all creatives, and we all just love to, make movies. And I took away that this crew, especially this team, especially was in it for the art and was so committed to the journey and making a good product, while respecting and enjoying everyone's company and making a good environment versus some horror stories from Hollywood of directors being awful or actors being awful or whoever being terrible. It was really a good experience. I think the producers and everyone put a good team together from the beginning, and I was really enjoyed getting to be a part of that.
That's amazing. Yeah, teamwork is the key to everything to make it work. Collaboration, teamwork, understanding. You know, we use a term actually from a woman. Her name's Patty Beach. It's called Shuva, and it stands for seeing, hearing, understanding, viewing, and accepting people for whoever, whether they're autistic or whether they're neurodiverse or neurotypical. It's just really important that people are seen and heard and understood and valued and appreciated.
Yes, and
Yeah.
everyone wants to be seen and heard, valued
Yeah.
and appreciated.
Yeah.
Good. That's good.
And what's next for you in Hollywood or wherever? What up? You're making a movie or you're going to be in another one, or what do you want to do next?
Yes, well, right now I thankfully just got an agent in Los Angeles, and I'm collecting my materials together to be ready for submitting to other projects. And then the hope and intention for another count to come out is on the horizon, and I'm uh, thrilled for that, and hopefully stay in touch with Gavin and the crew, and really enjoyed uh, being in connection with Amazon. So hopefully they'll think of me for something else soon. And then right now I'm working on a few screenplays I'm writing and wanting to go into production um, for a couple projects, and I'm finishing up editing my another project. I'm hoping to get that out into the world. And let's see what I'm just trying to continue being good to myself to get exercise. I'm trying to get back into running and sports, and hopefully um, get back into some martial arts training and singing, and keep auditioning and see what comes next.
Well, I think the Music Man did you well. I love it.
Yeah.
Way back in
Yes.
junior high school. So,
Yes. Way
yeah,
back in junior high. That was my intro. So it was really good.
that's
It would
great.
be fun to do the Music Man again.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love
uh,
that. I love it. Marion the librarian, and oh my gosh,
yes.
all that. But yeah, that was really, really well done back in the day. If the
Oh yes, you
voices,
can't. Oh, I forgot her name. I just had her name, but I love the movie.
yeah,
So Shirley, is Shirley? I forgot her name, but the
sure.
original Mary Peru. Yes.
You're too young to forget names. Come on.
I know. I was just watching it yesterday, I think.
Yeah,
And
well,
um
yeah, I definitely forgot the names, but I remember all the words of all the songs
mhm.
and all the,
Yes.
yeah,
And it's
very
great.
cool.
I have a nephew where my sister's introducing him to musicals, and he was singing the train song. He was singing
Oh,
the,
yeah.
he
How's that
loves the
going?
train. Um, let's see. And you gotta know the territory. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, what do you
Territory.
talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
You talk. You can talk. You can listen.
Hmm.
You can listen. You can talk. You can talk. 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 Listen. 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 Yeah. So
Yeah, it's coming back.
start that.
That's great. Of
Yeah.
course, the piccolo talkalo ladies. Piccolo talkalo, piccolo talkalo, cheep, 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 piccolo. Look a little more. um,
What that means.
I love the scene with the Greek statue, the Grecian urn, trickle, 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 trickle. Oh, we could
I
do it
know.
right here. That's good.
Times, but I love musicals too. So yeah, just always went to see Chicago. That was good, and Wicked, and oh my gosh, actually in New York, and where what's her name? The girl flies over, over the audience.
Alphaba?
Alphabet,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
yes.
She flies over the audience in person, so you're never
Wow.
expecting it. You're sitting in the
That
auditorium, and she's just flies across the audience.
wow, that's exciting. What a technical team to pull that off.
So, yeah.
That's exciting. Oh, that's I want to do that. That'd be so cool.
Well, it's been wonderful having you. I really enjoyed you. And keep up the
Yeah.
good work. And if you have any other things you want to say to the audience, like, did I miss anything? Probably. I could write a book here of questions.
Oh, I don't know. I just hope that yes, someone will be inspired or just by my story and take their own story and live it to the best they can. And I hope your podcast does well. I'm really excited for you and hope your audience really I'm sure your audience really appreciates the content you bring. So I'm really
Yours.
thankful to be a part of it.
Great. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed this.
Thank you too.